Okay, so this demo is going to go through the organization and application of StackWalls onto your guys' existing project here. So I've gone ahead and taken one of your guys' projects and just opened it up, and so we're going to be able to start to edit it. Now we're going to take these walls and convert them into StackWalls, and I'm going to show you how to take those elements and actually get these applied. And then we're going to do a little bit of cleanup to make sure that our structure and our ceilings and things like that are all going to attach properly. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this up. I'm going to go ahead and split this first because this wall actually is going to need to remain at this height. There's going to be a roof that's eventually going to be applied here. So I'm going to go ahead and in my first floor plan, I'm going to go ahead and use the split element. And we'll grab that wall face right there. And so now we don't actually have to worry about this wall. So if we go back into our 3D view, we can go ahead and we can select this guy. I'm just going to take him and I'm going to drag him up. And it's going to give me an error. That's okay. We're just going to go through, hold Control to select all of our windows for this particular wall. And we're going to go ahead and copy that to the clipboard. And then we're going to select the wall here and delete it. And then we're going to go ahead and paste and align to the selected view, and since this is all on the second floor, we're going to paste it back on the second floor. And you can see it put it all right back where we wanted it. So now we can go ahead, and this is an important thing we need to do before we start adjusting the stack walls. We need to make sure first that everything's oriented properly here. And so I've gone ahead and done a quick check, and her wall is actually, the exterior face is facing inward, so we want to invert that relationship, and you can see that's going to have an impact here on some of the other stuff that she's actually set up. So we'll go ahead and take this, and I'm just going to pull that out. And so now we can come in here, and assuming that this was all aligned properly, we can go ahead and use the Align tool. And we'll, instead of center line, we'll do this to wall faces. Oh. Try that one more time now. It's wall faces, and we can lock that relation. No, we don't want to lock that relationship. It should be the other way around. We should lock the furniture to the walls here. Okay, and you can see that that's had some impact here with this as well. So we'll go ahead and I'll not worry about that for right now. And then I want to make sure all my windows are facing outward as well, because it looked like we had a few little guys in here. Let's go up to the second floor. Yeah, we had a couple of guys that weren't just sitting in the window right here. Okay. Alright, so now if we go back into our 3D view, you can see that we now have this guy right in here, and so we're ready to essentially attach this in to our guy here. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the roof. This is an important step to do before we change it into the wall here. So go ahead and attach that in, and now we're ready to, if I tab through this, select this wall, we're ready to convert that to our stacked wall. So we'll go ahead and pull this down, and actually I'm just going to go ahead and edit type. So we'll go ahead and turn this into a stacked wall, and we're going to duplicate this because I'm going to do a little bit of modification because of where the windows are. And if we go into edit structure, I'm going to go ahead and drop this down to, there's going to be a 3-foot brick instead of the 7-foot, because this will actually interrupt our window line and create a bad detail there. So hit OK, hit OK, and it's complaining about another component here. But you can see that that's actually been modified and adjusted here. And maybe 3 feet wasn't the best based on the module of the brick, so we'll probably have to go back and revisit that. But for now, that's going to work. And then so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to select these guys. I'm going to do the same thing for this guy real fast so we can go through. And so we're going to, like I just did before, copy the clipboard, delete that away. Get this guy, and we'll extrude him up. Paste, align to selected levels, second floor. And then we're going to go ahead and select our wall and attach it to the roof. And if we go in a floor plan, let's make sure this is actually facing. Oh, Same issue here. Pull that out. Align from there to there. It looks like these are backwards as well. Okay. So now let's go into our 3D view. Select our wall. And go ahead, and since we just used that most recently, we can go ahead and turn that. And we've gone ahead and updated that. Okay, so that's the process for going through and modifying the exterior walls here. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hop in. There's a couple things that are just immediately we need to adjust. We're probably going to have to move our ceilings, and we're going to have to adjust some of our floor plates now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into our floor plan view. We'll select that. We're going to go ahead and, oh, we're on the second floor. We'll actually deal with that. Grab our floor plate here, and we're going to go ahead and edit the boundary. And I just tabbed here to cycle that. Okay. Now we're going to need to realign this. So if we grab the align tool, we can pull this menu down here and go to faces of the core. And so I'm going to go ahead and align to the faces of the wall, that structural component. So this will actually go through this. And you'll have to do this for all sides, but right now we only have 2 walls done. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that set up. Okay. And this is so that we can actually properly lay out the structure for this. So we'll hit OK. And so would you like the walls to go up to the floor's level and attach to its bottom? And say yes. And when we want the floors to overlap the highlighted walls, and we like to join their overlapping, yes. Okay. So said yes to both of those. And now if we're going to go through and cut a section through here. And to do that, we're going to go under the View tab, Section. We're going to set this to Wall Section here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut this. And as we go through this, I'll go ahead and just select this guy. There's a couple things we can do here. If we select the circle here, the line, we can grab this and adjust what's in the view. We can also flip the orientation, which I'm going to do. And then if you want to cycle through the symbols to get this to actually show up properly, you can do that as well. Okay. So what that did is that actually generated a view on our tabs here. And so we can see that down here. If we double click on that, we can go into that view, and now we can see our wall section here. I'm going to zoom in on this, and I'm going to go ahead and change the coarse to medium. And you can see here we have the wall and then we have the floor plate. And in one instance we have our ceiling here, and we're going to have to modify the seam for that as well. But for right now we have our floor plate. And these things are not interacting. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to join them. So if we go under the Modify tab here and Join, select that, and that's going to resolve a little bit of connection here. So if we think about how the structures actually work in here, we have our 2x whatever, our structural component coming up, and then we have that, probably there's going to be some kind of framing, remember a 2x6 or whatever that it sits on top of. And then the joist here is going to sit on top of that, and then there's going to be some plywood sheathing that sits on top of that, and then the structure for the next level is going to pick up from there. What you're going to see then is this is it looks like she had a hardwood floor set up on this, so this is a butt up against the structure, and then the gypsum board on the interior wall is going to come down on that. Okay, and so you can see here Revit's gone through and set up a lot of this stuff for us. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to clean this up too while we're going through it. If we go to modify this, we can see this, and we can go and edit the boundary of that. And I'm going to go ahead and do that in the first floor. And then we can go ahead and use the Align tool, and we'll go ahead and use the wall faces here. Lock that relationship. And lock that relationship. And then we hit done. If we go back into our section, you can see that that's been cleaned up as well. Okay. And so that's really, really easy, basic technique for going through and setting up. And you can see we can do the same thing up here. We can probably insert some finishes, and we'll get to that here in a bit. All right, but that's basically how you guys are going to go through and modify and do the stack walls and get your connection details to fit all right. The next thing we're going to go through actually setting up and developing the foundation here.